Marcus Garvey once said, "We're not engaged in domestic politics, in church building, or in social uplift work, but we are engaged in nation building." As we embark on a new journey this new year, let us think of new ways we can build and uplift our nation. Let us think of new ways to make our nation and our people great. This edition of Jamaica Magazine will showcase efforts around Jamaica that will inspire you in one way or another to participate in nation building. I'm Audrey Williams. The news is up next. Stay tuned.
We will overcome the threat.
The public health team began to develop protocols that would help to delay the entry of the virus into the country, contain its spread, and slow the transmission among the population.
We will be implementing an unprecedented $25 billion fiscal stimulus.
We remain committed to making this a decade of growth for Jamaica.
The 2020 Year in Review, January 4 to 26, 2021, Mondays to Fridays inside Jamaica Magazine. That's the 2020 Year in Review, building forward together.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Friday, January 22, 2021. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark is assuring the public that there is no cut in expenditure on education in the third supplementary estimates of expenditure. This comes against the backdrop of media reports that budgetary constraints have been placed on the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information. In a statement issued yesterday, Dr. Clark explained that a decision was taken to have the Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology manage the program to purchase laptops for students on the Program of Advancement through Health and Education path. The Finance Minister says the practical arrangement is to ensure speedy and efficient procurement, as the Technology Ministry has the experience and relationship with suppliers to undertake this activity at scale and on relatively short notice. As a result, the $1.8 billion for the laptop program is being transferred from the Education to Technology Ministry, but will still be used for its original purpose of supporting blended learning modalities. On Tuesday, the Finance Minister tabled the third supplementary estimates for the 2020-21 fiscal year. It shows an overall $3.5 billion reduction in spending. Still on finance, the Microcredit Act 2021, which aims to regulate microfinancing institutions while protecting their customers, has now passed committee stage with 6 amendments. Led by Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark, the debate received robust contributions from both sides of the House of Representatives on Tuesday. Dr. Clark says that with the rapid expansion of the microcredit industry to over 200 institutions, the bill will provide sanctions for malpractices and institute a framework to promote growth of the sector.
This bill to enact the Microcredit Act seeks to, among other things, 1, license and regulate microcredit institutions that provide financing to individuals, micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. 2, to discourage microcredit institutions from lending money at excessive interest rates that are not justified by the risk.
The bill will also make it illegal to engage in predatory lending practices, threats, and intimidation. In addition, it will promote greater transparency and the disclosure of pricing and terms of products that offer consumer protection. It will further reduce the risk of the industry being misused to facilitate money laundering. Minister Clark says the passage of Microcredit Act tops the list of criteria to be implemented by Jamaica in order to remain in compliance with international and Caribbean financial watch groups to improve the country's anti-money laundering and terrorism regimes.
It is imperative for the enactment of the Microcredit Act by the end of January 2021, which will allow microcredit institutions to be brought under the regulatory framework of the Proceeds of Crime Act, the Terrorism Prevention Act, and to be subject to AML/CFT regulation.
Cabinet has given approval for the granting of $21 million towards the legal fees of 5 members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF. This was disclosed by Minister of Education, Youth and Information, Favour Williams, during Wednesday's post-cabinet press briefing at Jamaica House. She said Cabinet also approved the establishment of an interim procedure for the management of contributions to legal expenses incurred by members of the JCF for actions taken during lawfully assigned duties. This is pending the finalization of a formal policy by the Ministry of National Security.
It is important to note that from a previous cabinet submission, it was agreed that the government would not be directly paying the legal fees for police officers with cases before the courts, but would contribute to the legal defense fund for police officers.
Minister Williams explained that the fund was established under the Heads of Agreement for the contract period 2012 to 2015, which allowed for an injection of $20 million to start the fund. Coming also out of Wednesday's post-cabinet meeting, the strengthening of the intellectual property ecosystem project has received approval for implementation. The project seeks to increase the country's innovation and competitiveness sectors while creating the appropriate conditions for the monetization or commercialization of intellectual property as collateral. The intellectual property project is being executed by the Inter-American Development Bank and Compete Caribbean and implemented by the Jamaica Intellectual Property Office, JIPO.
The project will seek to provide valuation guidelines for intellectual property assets and conduct training activities in valuation in order to help fill a key gap in the intellectual property ecosystem.
The Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM, has ordered a closure of the country's keys, except the Morant and Pedro keys. The order took effect on Tuesday and will remain enforced until February 1, 2021. ODPEM says the decision was made following discussions with the Ministers of Local Government and National Security and the municipal corporations, which have direct responsibility for the keys. The Disaster Management Office warns that no activities should take place at the locations as the island seeks to reduce the spread of COVID-19. The Marine Police will continue to rigorously monitor the keys to uphold the law and ensure that the public is conforming to the established protocols. ODPEM is reminding the public to adhere to the protocols under the Disaster Risk Management Enforcement Measures Order 2021, which carries severe fines and penalties. And finally, the first set of Reach Out Rangers in the fight against COVID-19 mental trauma have been appointed. The cohort consists of 30 individuals who have undergone training and graduation to assist community members who are facing psychosocial challenges. The initiative forms part of the Ministry of Health and Wellness's COVID-19 Mental Health Response Program. Portfolio Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton told the virtual graduation on Wednesday that in the coming months, the initiative would be strengthened with the addition of 50 persons.
They are going to be not just armed with the information intellectually, but they will be walking billboards in the communities where they will reside and work. And the message is very simple. Reach out. Integrate yourself in the community. Use your training to assess where the issues are. Offer a listening ear. Give some guidance. Make some recommendations and give support where that support is necessary.
Dr. Tufton says the program was developed to support persons who have to stay at home as part of the protocols to control coronavirus infections. And this subgroup mostly includes older persons and students, including those who face mental disorders and depression. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
We remain resilient in our fight against known and unknown threats to our country. We are never daunted.
We are committed to continuously deliver effective and efficient service when we save lives and protect property.
And we continue to reassure with courtesy, integrity, and respect for the rights of all.
We are building
forward
together.
Feeling secure and reassured is an integral part of nation building. Up next, we look at how the Ministry of Labour and Social Security contributed to building a safer and more secure Jamaica in 2020.
"2020 witnessed improvements to the labor market and social security portfolio as government proceeded on the mandate to build forward together. The year of activities opened in January with 228 farm workers taking up employment opportunities under the Seasonal Agricultural Workers Program in Canada. A newly constructed office of the Industrial Dispute Tribunal was opened in St. James to provide employers and employees with improved access to IDT services in the West. The ministry also built a two-story parish office in St. Ann at a cost of more than $500 million. That facility was named in honor of the late minister Shahini Robinson, who died after ailing for some time. The country paid tribute to her with an official funeral. Mike Henry assumed oversight of the ministry before Carl Samuda was ultimately named the new Minister of Labor and Social Security. As the COVID-19 pandemic demanded social distancing protocols, provisions under the Flexible Work Arrangements Miscellaneous Provisions Act were increased across the labor force to safely achieve productive goals. The ministry also developed a draft telecommuting policy to formalize arrangements for employees to work from a location other than their central work site, and hosted several virtual productivity forums to provide training and share insights and best practices on productivity improvement. During the year, a new work permit system was developed. To promote the use of its Labor Market Information System, LMIS, the ministry signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the University of Technology, and another with the Jamaica Household Workers Union, which was also provided with a computer for use by its members.
These facilities, I expect, will be fully utilized to the benefit of the members and to the wider Jamaica.
On the social protection side, the Inter-American Development Bank helped with the acquisition of 2 mobile units.
The ministry is now able then to deliver to the essential services offered remotely to citizens located in every nook and cranny.
A third mobile unit was acquired and specially retrofitted to deliver the services of the Early Stimulation Program to children with disabilities and their caregivers in rural communities. To cushion the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, the ministry accelerated the electronic payment of cash benefits to families on the Program of Advancement Through Health and Education PATH.
This is necessary in order to promote social distancing practice, avoid long wait lines in public spaces, and access much needed funds.
A $40 million grant agreement was signed with the United Nations Children's Fund UNICEF to provide cash transfer payments to approximately 2,700 PATH beneficiaries. A further 1,000 families registered with the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities, PATH, and the Early Stimulation Program also received care packages. In August, government provided $1.6 billion to children of poor households in its back-to-school grant program. And laptops and tablet computers were provided for an estimated 148,000 students on PATH to facilitate effective e-learning. The social security apparatus of the government also received a $600,000 boost to the COVID-19 fight, with the United Nations country team in Jamaica mobilizing a $1 million fund to support key sectors. And the ministry allowed its NIS pensioners to benefit from early encashment of pension vouchers and expanded the use of its direct deposit payment system. After heavy rains damaged several homes, the ministry provided $1.5 million in rehabilitation grants to top up another $1.5 million allocation from the Housing Fund. On the policy end, modernization of the National Insurance Scheme (NIS) continued in 2020 with the digitization of more than 90,000 records.
On our part, what we have been doing is trying to digitize our records and to automate the benefit and approval processes.
In April, NIS contributions were increased from 5.5% to 6% of persons' salaries to shore up the scheme's fiscal ledger. A 3-year technical cooperation agreement was signed with the Jamaica Association on Intellectual Disabilities to provide direct support to children with intellectual disabilities and their parents.
I am particularly delighted that the IDB shares this vision and have partnered with the Jamaica Association on Intellectual Disabilities to improve access to quality care and educational interventions in a suitable environment for children with intellectual disabilities.
And this has been our look back on the year of activities for the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, helping Jamaica to build forward together in 2020.
Informing.
Jamaica today confirmed its first imported case of coronavirus.
Educating.
If you follow the recommended procedures, it is highly likely that you will not get the disease.
Going beyond to keep you informed and connected.
Welcome together, Fat.
Even through the pandemic. Helping you stay safe while we protect ourselves. Dependable. Impactful. Accurate.
This is your JIS News.
Credible. Trustworthy. Every day, everywhere. Serving our customers proudly.
Let's take a look at how the National Solid Waste Management Authority is making communities around Jamaica cleaner and more appealing to the eyes.
The initiative is fairly good because at the moment currently we don't have enough disposals in Bethel Street. So I find the initiative very good and I do appreciate it, and I would like to say thanks very much, and I look forward to seeing other great things from the company.
We are here in Manchester on Bethel Street. We have launched a program called Drum at the Gate. The purpose of this program is to encourage residents that it's important for them to containerize their garbage properly.
In this community, we issued 80 bins today, and I just want to thank the Grace Kennedy and the Edgechem group that would have partnered with us to donate drums. We are issuing drums to residents so that they can containerize their garbage properly and to reduce the time it takes for our workers to be held in the environment cleaning garbage. We expect to see greater efficiency and turnaround time when we have residents containerizing garbage in these densely populated areas. So the residents are happy for this initiative, and we expect to replicate same across the island. We'll do it in phases. We only start in Mandeville today, but there are a number of communities that we'll be doing.
This project is the safety of our workers. Just recently, one of our sanitation workers, they were putting together the garbage in Clarendon, and an eagle took him recently. Now we are saying that we want to ensure the safety of our workers. Number two, we want to ensure that our schedule, they are completed on a timely basis. So the time it takes us to pull the garbage together and to pack it up, put it in the truck, we are losing time.
When the garbage is thrown all over the place, it creates an awful sight and damages the aesthetic of the community. People want clean surroundings. So I encourage the people of Bethel Street and surrounding areas in Greendale to use these drums as we prescribe them to be used. The stress that it put on our crew when they have to come and clean up instead of just taking up a drum, emptying it and moving. We want to move from your gate as quickly as possible. We have a lot of places to cover. Sometimes the one truck is doing several communities, 10 communities, 20 communities. The more back down that truck gets, the less opportunity we have to go to the other community. So the turnaround time is affected, and that put a problem on us right across. So we're giving you a drum, and we plan to come for the drum every Wednesday. We'll come for the drum. So it's not a drum that will create any mosquitoes for you, because we pour in the bottoms of the drum, so there won't be any mosquitoes also in the problem, right? Do I have your permission to leave a drum? Yes, sir. All right.
I feel good and happy about it, knowing that my city will keep clean and nice.
We love what go on.
Because right now, you see this rubbish thing here, it a get to me. And I get to the community at Greenville, Bethel Street. Whole heap of rubbish up on the roadside more time. And here what I go on now. You see what the item do? Right now with them drum here, are the best thing ever. Cause if the rubbish truck no come, a dog come jar where the rubbish them. Pay things in our lane, pay things in our road. So what we no do are the right thing we no do. I love this.
If a man see place clean, he think twice. But if he come and he see 3 buckets throw down there, him not think twice again, you know. Him believes he can throw buckle there. So it creates a dump. When the rain fall, the water when naturally I run and I look somewhere to go. Carry the buckle with it. When it go down in a level there is a little area where the water go through. But the buckle too big to go through, so the buckle stop. And then it creates a blockage. When the water gets blocked up, because of how water behave, the water rise and people place flood out. Sometimes the couple drinks bottle and the couple food box and the couple juice box that cause a major flooding because it block up a waterway. And me and your neighbor get flood out.
What do you need to know about masks for your children? You want to ensure that the mask fits your child snugly, as in it covers their nose, their mouth, and it fits neatly at the side of their face, no gaps. You want to get your children some washable, breathable mask made of fabric. You want to ensure that they carry an extra mask with them, because once that mask gets dirty or wet, they will need to change the mask. When they get home, you want to ensure that those masks are washed and ready for the next day or the other day to come. Also, remind them that they need to wash their hands when they're putting on the mask and when they're taking off the mask. And as much as possible, they should avoid putting their hands at the center of their mask. If it is that they have to make any adjustment to their mask during the day, it's important that they either wash their hands or use their hand sanitizer. Mask wearing is a new normal. Let's get it right.
In an effort to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work and raise our families, the Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, Olivia Grange, has provided a safe haven for victims of domestic abuse, Jamaica's first national shelter.
Welcome to Jamaica's first national shelter for victims of domestic abuse.
The place is nice and clean and ready, except for 1 and 2 things. But I'd say I'm happy that we are now ready.
Thursday, October 15, 2020, is a day of achievement for the Ministry of Gender Affairs and hope for women and children who need a space to escape abuse and start anew.
We can take in, I would call them clients, and take care of a family. We actually have most of the rooms ready. There are just 2 unfurnished rooms. The other rooms that are ready can take additional furniture because we want to make the facility as comfortable as possible. So we can do with television sets and bunk beds and desk, toys for the kids and so on.
The location of the state-run shelter cannot be revealed for security purposes, but it houses spacious studio and one-bedroom facilities.
Canadian High Commissioner toured with me, and the former EU ambassador and the Canadian High Commissioner have been very much involved in our efforts to get these shelters. And I know she's happy this morning that she has come and found that this shelter is real.
I am delighted to be here with Minister Grange today at the first of several nationally funded women's shelters. We all recognize, Canada in particular, the importance of having safe spaces for women and their families. We have seen that the COVID-19 pandemic has put additional pressures on families as they are in isolation, and none too soon. This is a timely undertaking, and I'm heartened to see that it has the space and the capacity to be able to welcome women and their families.
The facility was purchased in 2018 and is the first of 3 properties bought by the ministry to serve as national shelters. According to a 2019 report by the United Nations, Jamaica has the second highest rate of femicides in the world. That is the killing of a woman or girl, in particular by a man, and an account of her gender. Also, Jamaica's first Women's Health Survey in 2016 revealed that 1 in 4 women has been physically abused by a male partner. Minister Grange is urging victims of domestic abuse to call the ministry for help. The Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport can be contacted at 876-978-7654. Victims may also contact the island's 2 domestic violence intervention centers at 876-978-6003 and 876-702-5120 or their nearest police station.
Recover with integrity. Recover with integrity. We should all work together. One aim, one vision in the fight against corruption. There is no division. United with the Integrity Commission. Let's stand up and make a healthy decision that we will not turn a blind eye. We will not lead secret lives. We will not accept no bribes. We will not push values aside.
A message from the Integrity Commission.
We have reached the end of today's program. As always, thank you for making it Jamaica Magazine. For more informative content, visit our website at jis.gov.jm and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Remember to think of new ways that will help you to build and uplift our nation, making it the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. I'm Audrey Williams. Have a great weekend.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.